to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashley, and today I'm here to do a video talking about some new releases in the month of February. I talked about the new releases that had come out in January. Books that have already been released that I thought sounded interesting and want to check out at some point in the future. And I'm going to be going over February books this month. The reason I am doing books that have already came out versus books that are going to come out is because I feel like I don't always know about the books that are going to be coming out. I only know about them afterwards. I see them as people are buying them and things sound interesting. I don't really know where to go searching for new book releases. So I thought I would try it this way and see how that goes. I kind of liked it last month, so please let me know if you do also, or if you prefer hearing about books that are going to be coming out and not out yet instead. Anyways, I have to get to the February releases, and my computer is really slow. Wow, that took forever. All right, so the first one on the list is called Hunter's Treasure by Olivia Jackson, and this is an ARC that I actually received from NetGalley, and I am currently reading it. I would say I'm probably about 45-ish% of the way through, and it's one that I'm reading while I'm at the gym, or at least I have so far only read it while I was at the gym, so it's kind of slow going and has now since been released. It actually came out, I want to say like the 7th of February, maybe 10th, something like that. This so far is really fun. It's about a woman who goes on a boat trip around the world to scatter her father's ashes at different places that he had always wanted to travel to. I think there's like a storm and the boat capsizes and she's washed up and stranded on this deserted island, except it's not completely deserted because there is a man who lives there and is searching for treasure. It's really like reminiscent of scavenger hunts, and I love that type of thing. I'm not overly thrilled with some of the language, so I have a feeling it's gonna get kind of spicy, but so far there hasn't been any actual romantic scenes, but there is some buildup and tension building, and so we'll have to just wait and see, because so far there hasn't been any spicy scenes, so I'm liking it though. All right, next we have Jamie Jo Wright's new book. It says February 10th. I haven't really heard anybody talking about it. It's actually a YA romance, which is completely different from her typical genre that she usually writes. She usually writes like mysterious and atmospheric horror, and it's a YA clean romance. I do want to try this. I love Jamie Jo Wright's writing in the one book that I've read, and I think this could be really good. So there's a girl who's a big reader talking about book boyfriends, and then she gets set up, looks like, by some of her aunts, and there's something about Valentine's Day. It sounds like fun. It plays in North Carolina, which is not too far away from me. I think it's going to be cute. The next one was released February 1st, The Epicenter of Forever by Maura Williams. This is a romance, a contemporary romance about a woman who had been divorced, goes back home, falls for a guy there. Looks like there's nothing really jumping out at me, but I think this one I heard someone talking about just made it sound really good, and so I thought I would try that one. The next one came out February 17th, and this is called The Deaf Girl, a memoir of hearing loss, hope, and fighting against all odds. I don't remember where I came across this, but this is a memoir of a woman who was on The Bachelor, and she's deaf. For anyone who doesn't know, I grew up with a friend in high school who was deaf and have a sign language interpreting degree, though it's been many years since I've used it, so I can still communicate. So yeah, those type of stories and characters always draw me in. Next, I have Library of Eternity by Natalie Forslund, which came out February 28th. So this one's kind of new. I haven't heard anyone talk about this one yet. This is a dark academia fantasy, which is not usually something I'm super interested in, but it has portal fantasy with magic, and it's a magical library. All of those things I can get on board with. So I thought this one might be fun to try. Now, I have a friend who was actually reading this one, and this is called Stripped Down, Unfiltered, and Unapologetic, a modern-day memoir from the trailer parks of Vegas to Nashville and podcast stardom. So this is a nonfiction memoir about Bunny. I had never heard of her, but my friend was telling me about kind of her story, just basically from what she had read so far. She and her husband have become Christians after having these very hard lives, and I thought that would be a story that I would like to read about. That came out on February 17th. Next, I have The Perfect Cover by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It does mention the Inheritance Games on it, but I believe this is the first in a new series by her. I did enjoy the Inheritance Games series. I liked the first one the best, and I wasn't overly thrilled with the rest of them. They were fine. And so I didn't end up going back and reading her popular mystery series, The Naturals. This one is another YA mystery. It also says espionage, so it's one I'm gonna have to try. Those type of stories really aren't usually my jam, but I did really enjoy the mysterious, like, scavenger hunt feel of the Inheritance Game, so I'm thinking I can maybe get on with this one as well. Let's see, this one just says that she's a cheerleader, but then they end up using the cheerleader squad as a cover for being spies. So, like I said, I'm gonna maybe try it only because I did like the Inheritance Games, but I'm not anticipating really loving this or like in a huge hurry to try this one. Next, I have This Book Made Me Think of You by Libby Page, and I don't know anything about this. I've seen a couple people haul this book, and I'm like, this thing looks so cute. This is about a woman whose husband passed, and yet he had a gift prepared for her. I don't know if it's for her birthday or what, but it was 12 books, one per month, books that he picked out for her. And so, I mean, that was enough for me. I'm going to try this. I think it'll be really good. Next, we have The Glowing Hours by Layla Siddiqui. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And this is a very mysterious looking book, and I love those spooky horror, gothic, mystery type of stories. So this one looks like maybe it's a dual timeline, or maybe it all just took place back in the 1800s, I guess. It says Revisioning Frankenstein. So it's about a woman who comes to this boarding house, and there's strange things happening. That's all I need to know, and it piques my interest, so I'm super excited for this one. All right, so next I have Books and Bewitchment by Isla Jewell, and I haven't heard anyone talking about this one either, but I like books about books, and I like books about witches, and while this is a fantasy, I have the idea that I could love fantasy, but I generally tend not to, but it just kind of depends on what kind of fantasy. So, a woman whose grandmother dies and leaves her everything, and so she goes to the town where she lived. I believe she starts working in her grandmother's bookshop. I'm not really sure, but it's supposed to be a cozy fantasy about witches and books, and I was like, yes, please. Next, All We Once Had by Katie Upperman. This is another YA romance, and I have no idea where this one came from. It's just about two kids who are escaping their situations for the summer by going to the pool. Of course, things happen, and then maybe they have to say goodbye, possibly, sounds like. So I love YA romances, honestly. They're just so sweet. Oh my gosh, this one is Carnival Fantastico by Angela Montoya. Somebody mentioned this book. I think I saw it in a short. She went to a release party or like a signing when they released this book, and I was like, this looks so awesome, and I really think this is the book that made me want to read more circus books, and I'm going to do Circus September and read all my books with circuses or something to do with things like that in September. I think that's going to be super fun. But anyways, this one is a YA romantasy. It has magic, and it's about a traveling carnival, and that's all I care to know about, because sign me up, please. Thank you. Next is How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates. And this is one I have actually heard people talking about a little bit, and I actually just saw a good review of it, and I think it could be really fun, just like a fun horror, thriller, mystery, romance. So I heard talk about it being like a speed dating event, and then people start dying and they get locked in and they have to try and figure out who's behind it all. It could be interesting. And the last one I have is It's Not Her by Mary Kubica. I don't know why I found that so hard to read, but this is the Sleep When I'm Dead's book club pick for March, I believe. And so I actually have this one out on the Libby app in audio. Currently, I haven't started it yet. I am about to. I know nothing about this. I don't think I've ever read any of Mary Kubica's work, but it was picked for book club, so I'm gonna read it, and it's a thriller. So yeah, hopefully I enjoy it. I sometimes enjoy the books from the Sleep When I'm Dead book club, and sometimes I don't, so we shall see. Anyways, that is all the February releases that I had come across and thought sounded interesting to me. So if you have picked any of these up already, please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you've read any of them. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!